Hello, and welcome to what's going to be the first episode of what will probably be a slower series of Farming Simulator. This is just 19, I haven't picked up 22 yet. Not for any particular reason other than I'm just cheap. And believe it or not, with only 7 subscribers, I don't make a lot of money off this. Anyway, this series I'm probably not going to upload things very regularly. With City Skylines and Escape the Pacific, I've been trying to do them one or two a week with those. This one might be more frequent, might be less frequent. I'm not sure. It depends how much time allows. I do have a day job and a lot of stuff to keep me busy in life. Anyway, with that all out of the way, here we are. It's if you play Farm Simulator, you probably recognize the map. It's No Man's Land. Nice blank canvas. I'll just go take a quick peek. See, we got nothing. So we're going to start off pretty small, see if we can't grow. So first let's get some land. And trying to think where I want to set up. Set up right here? Yeah, let's do that. If for no other reason than it shortens my trip to the shop. And we might build it as build one little farm up, and when I'm happy with it, buy some other land and build up another farm. Operate them completely independent of each other. So we got some land. We're going to need somewhere to live. And we're going to start running out of money really quickly, which is fine. I'd rather not have big piles of money sitting around. I do have a lot of mods here, so it's just kind of what we have. I know that's a big house. Nice North American style, but well, I'm not really going with European style. I like these little houses. So maybe we'll go with this one. Alright. Oh, I gotta enable. There we go. Extend placeables. There we go. Now we can buy our house. Or more accurately, we can place our house. And we have this nice little stand of trees. May not be a bad spot to set up a shop. I think we'll do that right there next to the road. Perfect. Now we're going to need a few essentials here. We need a tractor. Because of course we need a tractor. Now I'm debating between going with the Ford or an old Massey Ferguson. I think I'll go with this one. Not so much about the money, because we have more money than we need, but I like the small tractors. Let's see, this one, 47 horsepower, 38. The downside of these cool little tractors is that they just have no power. I do like this tractor, though. Well, we're building a small farm. Let's go with a small tractor. I think I like this version. Yeah, it's a very, very pretty tractor. We'll go with the new. Normally I like the idea of a second-hand one, especially for an older style, but let's pretend somebody did a big refurbishment on it. Fenders. No, we don't want rollover protection. God, can't have safety. Might want a cab at some point. We'll look at that come winter. We'll go with the shells for now. I think those look pretty cool. Weight frame, front gird. Yeah, let's put the weights in front. Attachers. I don't think this is going to make a difference, but we'll leave it as standard. I don't want front loader, and let's go with horizontal exhaust, just so it's not in our way. I don't want a beacon. Alright, so we got a tractor. And we should probably have a barn to put it in. And most of these that I have are fairly modern looking, not really what we need. I do like that one, I just wish those doors were closed. But still not quite what I'm looking for. I have one in mind, I just gotta find it. Too many mods, there it is. Okay. Yeah, let's go with that. Perfect. Now, the first thing we're going to need is a plow. We have 47 horsepower, so we're limited in the plows we can pull, but there's these implements that came with the Ferguson tractor that it may be a little cheesed and overpowered, but I can get a 5-furrow plow, which has got a decent width, 3.5 meters, and I can pull it with 20 horsepower. I don't know if it's the height of realism or if the horsepower requirements for some of the other ones are a little too high. Either way, we're going to roll with it. Alright, we'll start with that. We're going to need a chainsaw because there are some trees in our way. And I gotta go with a husky. I grew up around those. Alright, I also want a truck. What kind of farm doesn't have a farm truck? Tempting to go with a Beetle. I love the Beetles. The band and the cars. Yeah, let's go with this guy. Looks like a cross between an old Chevy or an old Ford. I like it. Let's go with that. And this one we're going to go used. I want it to look beat up. Perfect. Just like that. And I'm probably going to want a trailer of some sort with it. Let's find something that's going to be useful to us that we can still tow. I think that silver one may be what we go with. Yeah, this guy works. It's not of any use for loose items like grain. That's true, we may need something to haul grain. We'll get one for the tractor later. This is more for hauling fertilizer and seeds and whatnot. I suppose I'm going to have to decide what kind of farm we're growing. We've got a couple of essentials here, but... Oh, I want to turn on a few vehicle options here. I want that. And... well, that one doesn't matter on this map. I don't need the map, at least not at the moment. Now I have hand attach enabled on this, so I have to get off and click on them to attach implements. Alright, and we're off. Still trying to figure out what should we do? Just straight up crops, or do we want to try some livestock? If we do livestock, what kind? I don't know. Maybe a sheep farm? Well, we don't need to decide just yet, because we're going to have a lot of work to do just to get the basic fields in place before we can worry about animals anyway, so... I should say we're also playing with seasons here, so... Alright, and I think that's allowed create, yep. So I'm going to turn on my map, just so I can keep track of where we're supposed to be. Try and get this going in a roughly straight line. Now I like the idea of growing potatoes, so maybe we'll make this a potato farm, but the small potato digging implements they're pretty rough to work with, so that might not be the best idea. Okay, well, this plow is awesome. It is not a turning plow, so we gotta keep that in mind. And I haven't used it in a little while, so I may not get my alignment just the way I want it, but usually if you can get it figured out which furrow to be in, it should work pretty good. There, that's not too bad. And once we can get a few straight rows in place, then we can just use those to guide us. And since we don't have a straight row here, I'm just going to hope this is straight, and we'll clean up the little missed part later. This truly is a wonderful map. I don't like the ideas of most of the maps where you come in and everything's there. There's all your buildings in place. I like the idea of coming in, build my barn, build my house, and then start my farm the way I want to start it. Decide where I want the fields and what I want. Okay, that'll work. Yeah, these first few passes are not going to be the most efficient because I'm just trying to get some rows established that are in a straight line. Just keep my wheel in the furrow. What's the weather looking like? 2 degrees. Oof, maybe I should have got that cab. Gonna be a little chilly. You know, the more I think about it while I plow this, the more I'm thinking I like potatoes. Should clarify. I'm born and raised in Prince Edward Island, Canada, which is kind of known for potatoes. It's like our number one industry is potato. Well, I think our number one industry is tourism, but after that, I think it's potato farming. Followed by fishing, probably. So, anyway. My whole life I've been surrounded by potato fields. And there is one thing about this game that really irks me. The hollow topper that we have to use. Around here, nobody uses things like that. Like nobody cuts the tops off the potatoes. Uh, it's usually done with a spray, some sort of pesticide or herbicide or whatever. They spray it down, and like 2 days later, all the tops are just withered and dried up. Probably not the healthiest thing in the world, but whether or not it's the best way to do it or not, I'd like to be able to do it the way I've always seen it done, as opposed to the way it's probably more common in Europe, I'm guessing. I noticed that a lot about this game, that a lot of things are done the way they would be in Europe, which is fine. If that's where the developers are from, hey, why not? And unfortunately, I've never been able to find a sprayer to accomplish harvesting that way, so I just have to make do and pretend I'm doing it a different way. You play the game you have, right? And let's be honest, well, it's called Farm Simulator. It's not exactly the pinnacle of realism. But it is fun. And that is really the important thing. Oy, that is an ugly looking field. We're going to have some cleaning up to do. But our little tractor's just making a quick job of this, though. Yeah, this plow really probably is a little bit OP, but oh well. I find plowing tedious anyway, so. And when you're using seasons, you have to plow a little more often than you would. But this doesn't feel that slow. It probably is, but the tractor's smaller, so you're closer to the ground, so it gives the illusion of going faster, and if we're working smaller fields and smaller implements, it's not that big a deal. I think the final decision on what we decide to grow here is gonna come after I plant this. I'm gonna look at the store and see what my options are for harvesting potatoes. I know I have a couple of smaller implements, and I think they just dump them on the ground. And it's the picking them up part that gets a little annoying, because then I have to come in with a loader and a bucket and shovel them into trailers, or get some funky conveyor belts going, and yeah, I don't feel like doing that either. The big potato harvester was fine, but it needs a lot more tractor than I have. Anybody who plays this game ever notice that harvesting wood seems like it's way more lucrative than it should be? Like, I always find if I'm hurting for cash, that's my go-to, is just cut down some trees and instant cash. Maybe it's just because I have one of the mods I have makes harvesting trees kind of easy, so it's just a matter of loading them up and hauling them away and cashing the check. So maybe that's the problem, and it's too easy. But I don't know. I just find the payout for logging is higher than I would expect. I'm only going to do a few more passes. I don't necessarily want to go too large on our field to start. We're going to have to rotate crops anyway, so I'd rather have 3 smaller fields that I can rotate rather than just one giant field. And given that it's still so cold, I'm not in a rush to get them ready. Can't plant for a few more days anyway. So right now it's just about spending money on equipment and getting the soil ready for planting. We gotta lime and fertilize things, but you know, I think I know what we can do for livestock that's not going to be obnoxiously expensive to get into. Chickens. Anyway, I don't think the eggs pay very well in this, so that might not be the best option either. I don't know. Maybe we'll stick with crops. Alright, we'll go one more down and back, and then we'll clean up the ends and all those missed bits in the middle. Possibly 2 if this bush is still standing. No. Yeah, we'll do up here, back down the other side, then we'll clean everything up. How much money do we have left? 240,000? That's going to evaporate quickly. I don't mind taking out loans, but if you take out a loan, you got to pay it back, right? So, and let's be honest, a farm in debt isn't exactly unrealistic. So, we won't worry too much about that. Yeah, I think once we get this farm chugging along nicely and into the green, and we have enough money, we'll go in and put fences around it and mark it off and upgrade the road out front so it actually looks like a road, and then maybe buy some land across the road or something and build up another farm. So if I do end up deciding to go with potatoes here, then I can always go with chickens next door. So that's the nice thing about no man's land. You can you don't have to get locked in. I don't know which mod it is, but one of my mods will allow multiple sleep points to be added. It'll still give you an error saying, hey, only 1 per farm, but it'll still let you plop it. And then wherever you sleep will be the next one it respawns you at. So it works. So we do have the option to build proper farmhouses at each of our little sub-farms, so that'll be good. I suppose the real question is, when we move from one farm to the next, will we let the old farm just fall fallow, or will we try and operate them all at the same time? We're almost done. The downside of this plow is it's not square, or not very square anyway. So it makes these corners a little trickier. So we end up with a little bit of overhang, but there's nothing we can do about that. So we'll live with it. I think there's just a last little bit down here, and then we'll look at the store and decide what we're going to plant. Let's go park this. I think we're just going to drop it next to the I was going to say the shed, but I don't know. It's more of a barn, I guess. I don't know. Okay, next we definitely need lime, so let's look at the store now. Alright, first, potatoes. Yeah, we'll never tow that. Not 110 horsepower. This guy we can use, so we can plant them. Now will this guy harvest? 45. What did we say our horsepower was? 47. Close. We'll have to, I wonder if it'll work. If not, that'll get really annoying really quickly. So I don't necessarily want to replace my tractor. And that's a topper I've never really gotten to work well. So I don't know. However, if we go with crops, I do have a cool little tow harvester. I think it's in this, yeah, this guy. I like that. It's just a little tow behind. I think it's kind of neat. We won't need that for a while. I don't know when I downloaded this one. It's interesting. Huh. I don't even know what that is. This machine can harvest. Okay, just the usual things. I assume okay, you get a separate header for this guy. Needs a lot more horsepower than we have, though. Okay, that's neat. So this one must take a header somewhere too. But I don't see where. Huh. Strange. Anyway, we're not gonna go with that. We'll probably go with this guy. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna go with wheat for now. But I'm gonna need a lime spreader. Let's go with this guy. I don't like white. Maybe a nice blue. Yeah, we'll go with this. So that'll be at the store. Let's get some lime. Okay, this is going to be a couple of trips. Oh, and before we do that, I need to do some landscaping because this is bothering me. Okay, so we'll make this a little parking spot. Just like that. We'll make this the main entrance to the farmyard. And we'll leave the tree. Just because I can. There. That's better. And we'll eventually add some fences in and some silos and get this place decorated a little better. But it's just a small start, right? Alright. Let's get our lime. Attach PTO. Okay, well that's sitting there. Let's get the truck going. Now here I'm kind of going to use some liberties because the physics and just the controllability is so terrible when you're trying to use forklifts that it becomes very unfun very quickly. So I sacrifice a bit in the name of realism just for sake of playabilities. I don't know if it's just that you have such a terrible perspective trying to see where you're aimed and what your angles are, but I find forking pallets incredibly tricky in this, trickier than I think it should be. So I made a choice to allow myself to use super strength and knock my truck all over the place. Go. Close that. Alright, let's save some fuel here. coming back on foot for it. Now, is this the point where I impress everybody with my reversing trailer skills? Or does everybody make fun of me and heckle me mercilessly? A little trickier when you can't see your trailer, though. Like a glove. And let's make this wall go away. There's a click spot somewhere. There it is. And a little close to that door. A little close to both doors, so we'll just jump over the top. Oh, didn't mean to throw that. Can we reach that far? Oh wow, it's up to 6 degrees. I'm gonna have to check the weather forecast. We might be able to get some crops in the ground sooner than I thought. Okay, that's perfect. Climb back over the top. I normally would use a wheel when I'm playing this, but lately I've found that the keyboard's easy enough. It's kind of a hassle to get my wheel up and connected every time I want to play, so. Alright, let's go. Run, Forrest, run. Through the bushes. Let's jump over this one. I think... Yeah, we'll get this back, we'll get it limed, and then we'll call it a day. Well, maybe not a day in the game, at least a day in the recording. Actually, you know what? It's getting a little late. It's been a long recording. I think what we'll do is pick up with the lime next episode, because I don't want this episode to drag on too long. It's already getting a little longer than I was wanting, so we'll do the lime next time. And besides, it's late at night right now. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. So we'll just park the tractor in our barn. Take a quick look. Do a quick flyover. Just show you what we have so far. Not a whole lot. It's a humble farm. And the more I see this, the more I realize that unless we're doing potatoes, I want to go a lot bigger. So, I think we'll break out the plow again next episode and just maybe bring the field out to at least here. Then we can do a couple more over this way. And go from there. Alright. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.